Hi, everybody.
Hello there.
I'm Jerry.
And I'm Linda.
We're the Newcomers. And if you follow us, you know we live in the Villages, the largest retirement community on the face of the planet. In the universe, probably.
There you go.
And each week we bring you answers to questions that our viewers write in. And we try to give you a little fun and tidbits and the happenings around the community. So thanks for joining us today.
Yeah.
On today's show, are we safe in golf carts?
Saturday is World Skydiving Day.
Will the Villages drain your life savings?
And what do we miss?
A new Buubble Rap?
It's the scourge of almost every homeowner here in the Villages. Weeds that grow in the rock area of your plantings. Coming up on this week's Buubble Rap, I have a unique way of getting rid of them.
A new Ask Amy? And a whole lot more. Hit it, Wally.
Send us your questions, we've got your answers. Jerry and Linda's Mailbag Monday.
I hope you enjoyed our Wednesday live show. We had fun bringing it to you.
Yeah, we had a lot of good people on there. You know, we like to recognize those names on the side. So thanks for joining us. We're trying to do that every Wednesday night, but you know, sometimes life gets in the way. Join us Wednesday night at 7 and we'll have another live.
We hope you enjoyed our music video we put out this week. We had fun making it for you.
That was a lot of fun. And thanks to Jeff Weimer for sending us that. Really, really fun and nice and easy go like that. Let's go to a viewer video. Now, it's been a while since this was sent to us, but Jan and Sally, all the way up in North Dakota, sent us a little bit of their everyday life. That looks like a lot of ground to take care of.
Yes.
And Jan said that back centuries ago, there were Native Americans all over his property, and they left stones and some structures and things, and how fascinating that would be
Yes.
to see.
I really thank all the farmers out there that you do an incredible amount of work, and sometimes it's thankless, and we do thank you because you bring us so many things, livestock, farming, produce, just everything, and we just appreciate our farmers.
We do. Don't forget about that contest. It ends on Thursday at 1 o'clock. We will be at Rafael's Flooring and Remodeling. We're going to pick a name out of a hat there, and if you have registered, which you can do every single day in person, and you live near the Villages or in the Villages, you can win that brand new backsplash. What a terrific prize. And remember, you go there in person, you sign a ticket, then we'll put it in a hat, and on Thursday we'll be there, and somebody is going to win that backsplash.
That's on 301, and it's right behind a Dairy Queen.
The first letter we had today asks, you save all your life to retire, then you go to a place like the Village and start giving it all away. I know you have all your YouTube money, but on a regular person, how fast does it disappear? That's a great question. You know, it's a little pointed because they're talking about our YouTube income, which, by the way, folks, it's not as much as you think.
No.
And for all the time and hours we put in, you know, it's barely noticeable. But living here has not been much more expensive than Indiana, if any, because we have no state income tax here. The property taxes are higher, I'll give you that, than Indiana. But they're less than Illinois. They're less than Massachusetts. They're less than Connecticut. They're less than so many places, New York. So I think folks that move from a place with high property tax are going to be really thrilled when they get here.
Yeah.
But the day-to-day living, the electricity, the water, the grocery shopping, the doctors, it's a wash. It's the same.
Yeah.
So, you're going to probably dip into your retirement savings from time to time when you go on a cruise or vacation. or you buy that new car or, furniture, whatever.
Yeah, and I think too, a lot of people come here and start eating out a lot more because
That's true.
it's a lot of fun to socialize here because you have so many opportunities. So that's where you have to watch your budget a little bit, when and how many times you go out to eat.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. If you eat out twice a week, you're spending basically $100 extra a week, $5,000 a year to eat out.
Yeah.
But that's on you. You don't have to do that, whether you live in Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, or Florida. So keep that in mind. I think your nest egg will last just as long down here as it does in most places.
This next question is from Sue and Frank. You always seem so happy, but you must miss something back in Indiana. I'm not talking people, I mean real stuff. Real stuff.
Want me to tell them what I miss?
Yeah.
I miss that Indiana tenderloin. Look at that. That is bodacious. And there's no place down here we found. Now, we found Pudgy's up in, Inverness area that has one. But look at that. They pound that baby out. That's so good. Oh.
I know another thing you miss.
Okay.
You miss your shop, your wood shop.
Well, I do, but I've got enough tools here to keep me happy, right? So I'm good on that. But what I miss, I'm a rock guy, like Jeff Weimer. I like rocks. I like fossils. I like arrowheads. I like that. We don't have any babbling brooks here in Florida. We don't have any of that scenic Smoky Mountain-looking little rivers and trails. We don't have that.
I see those outside a few people's homes here. They have little a babbling brook, fake ones, whatever.
They built their own.
Built their own in their yard. It's not long. It's not big. But I'm going, oh, I can sit by that.
Is anything else you miss?
Oh, I miss sometimes the fall colors. The fall colors of Indiana. So I do miss that. And sometimes I miss the hills. We came from the hills, and I do miss that.
We took it for granted, though, just like we do here when you see a beautiful sky every day. You kind of take it for granted.
Yeah.
We would come down from Floyd Knobs, drive down I-64. Lots of you have been on I-64. When you break through the knobs and you're looking down toward Louisville, Kentucky, it's gorgeous view. We don't have any vistas like that here in Florida that I know of, anyway.
Yeah.
But there are some things we miss, but we're here. We don't want to go back. There's so many positive things. I watched a video last night about a guy, and he walked out of his house, and the driveway was coated over with ice.
Oh, yeah. We don't miss that.
No, we do not miss that.
Yeah.
But thanks for the question. You're really what you're asking is, are we happy here? And we are. Josh writes, you say you love the golf cart aspect of living there. Do you really feel safe when driving that little machine with cars zooming by you? That's another good question, Josh. The true answer is no, not really. But you have to be careful. We tell you the rule in a roundabout when you're in your car is to don't be near any other cars. That's a good rule for the golf cart, too. Don't be near other vehicles if you can help it. But look at this wreck. Now, we're going to blur out the face here because it's just not respectful. But Tom Drabchick sent this to us. He came up on this the other day, and that golf cart was hit from behind by a car. That's what it was reported to us. And there's some serious injuries there. So that's always in the back of your mind, but you follow the rules, you drive safely. We get past, we usually go 20. We really do, we go 20. Our golf cart won't go faster than that, but a lot of people have cranked theirs up to go 25 or even 28, 30 miles an hour, and they will fly by you on the roads. And that's not as safe. I tell her, same as when she's riding her bike, don't get out of control. Go a nice speed that you can control it. Keep it between the lanes. And
can I add something to this? Also, when we're in our golf carts, we're going 20 miles an hour on the golf cart path. The cars in the lane next to us are supposed to be going 30.
35 or 30.
35. And so if they're going too fast, that is scary. But there is a speed limit of the cars in our neighborhoods, the roads where we drive our golf carts.
We feel safe, but we're very cautious because we know if it happens, it can hurt.
Hi, Jerry and Linda. We all have them, weeds, and they're especially hard to get rid of when you have them amongst your landscaping rocks. On this week's Bubble Wrap, I've got a unique way to get rid of them. It's much easier to get rid of these weeds if you use your hand and just move some of the rocks out of the way. Then you can individually pull the weeds out. It's kind of tedious and it takes some time, but it's much better than trying to pull them out with the rocks in place. When you're finished picking out all the weeds, just take your hand and scoot the rocks back in place. This technique doesn't work as well when you go out to the middle part of your yard because really there's no place to store the rocks. So you might just have to do it the old-fashioned way and pull them out individually. I've tried using weed killer in my flower beds, but it met with disaster. I killed some of my plants. So the only thing you can do for some of this stuff is pull them by hand. So once again, the places that are not near the edge, you can try pulling the weeds by moving the rocks and putting them back. But I have found it doesn't work as well than the ones that are near the edge. It's a pretty simple procedure. Move the rocks out of the way. Yank up what weeds you see. I know it looks kind of messy, but you will like the results. Then scoop them all back with your hands. Your yard will look really nice if you do this. I'm Peter Bernard, and that is this week's Bubble Wrap.
Thanks, Peter. You know, that is something about living in Florida. Everything grows so fast. And weeding is important, and we'll call you when we need some.
Hey Jerry and Linda, this is Sydney at Pittman Law. I wanted to send a reminder to our clients that have trust or to our non-clients that have trust. If you have a revocable trust, you need to fund it. And what do I mean by that? When you have a trust, you have to make sure to connect your assets to your trust. And connecting your assets, that's done in many different ways. It's if you have a bank account, you need to make sure the trust is the owner of it or the beneficiary of it. If you have a house, the deed needs to reflect that the trust is either the owner of the property or the recipient of the property if you pass away. Those are just a couple of examples of ways that we can fund your trust. Signing the document itself, signing your trust, it makes the trust itself effective, but it doesn't mean that the asset goes into the trust automatically. You have to do a little homework in order to receive or put those properties into the trust so that they bypass probate. If you have any questions about that, let us know. But thanks so much, Jerry and Linda.
Thank you, Sydney. Now, there are 3 great attorneys over there at Pittman Law Office, and they come to us a couple times a month with just great answers to things that you're wondering. If you have questions for them to answer on our channel, send them a note, and they'll put it on their list and get to it sometime. I'll put their address up on the screen for you. Here's Brad and Laura up at Bella Vita in Spanish Springs.
Hey y'all, this is Brad and Laura from Alabama. We're on a lifestyle visit. We took your advice and we just got in the golf cart and drove. And we're here at Spanish Springs at Bella Vita for lunch.
How are you today?
Hey. We are splitting a fried ravioli appetizer. Looks great. So as a meal, we're gonna split the special, which was ravioli with mushroom cream sauce, and it came with scallops, but they let us substitute shrimp. Looks very good.
The atmosphere was good, staff was good, food was good, but the price was a little high.
Thanks so much for that. Remember, all of you can do an out and about. We received another couple of out and abouts this week from folks, and they're so good. And it's a chance for you to have something good to eat, do a little reporting. It's fun, right?
Yeah, it sure is.
So send us those out and abouts. Remember to film it in landscape.
This way.
Here's another video question from Alan and Kathy.
Hi, Jerry and Linda. It's Alan and Kathy from Utah again. We have a couple questions about pools. First off, where do you generally find the adult pools?
And when we are floating around enjoying that crystal blue water, can we do it in floaties?
We're coming out for a whole month in October. We'll see you when we get there.
There are adult pools all over the place. What are some of those adult pools? The Dunedin pool is an adult pool. The Charlotte pool is an adult pool. The LaBelle pool is an adult pool. The Osceola Hills pool. Every village, just about, as far as we know, has an adult pool. Kids are not welcome. Anybody under 30 is not welcome. So you're welcome to go to any of those.
Really? Yeah. No teenagers, no people in the upper 20s. You have to be 30.
You can go there and play cards. You can take your favorite beverage. You can sit up in the shade, or you can get in the pool, whatever you like. And as far as those floaties, that's really a no-no. Now, if you got the kind that fit around your arms, you know, what do they call those?
I don't know.
Floaties, maybe?
Yeah.
Water wings?
Water wings, I don't know.
But if you have one of those ducks that has a hole in it and you want to put it around, and you're not supposed to have that. Yeah. But what are they going to do? They'll come by and they'll say, sir, you get out of that duck, please. You're not allowed to have that big duck in the pool. You know, but we've never seen anybody disciplined for having something in the pool they shouldn't have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but people are pretty respectful here. They follow the rules. I don't think you're supposed to have them, but I don't think they would arrest you if you had one either. It seems like every week we get a new picture of an alligator or a video, and here's one from this week, and thank you for sending that in. We received a really cool email the other day, and it was in reference to World Skydiving Day. That's going to be July 12th, where they're going to try to break the Guinness record. They're going to have skydivers from all over the country jump that day. World Skydiving Day. The international event, it's an international event, will feature skydivers from all over the planet. They're going to break the record for most skydivers on a single day. You are invited. Village locals, please take part in breaking last year's record of 30,000 jumps on that day. And they had participants from 51 countries. Numerous local drop zones are involved here. And in Florida, you can go to Central Florida Air Park in Coleman. You can go to Zephyr Hills Municipal Airport in Zephyr Hills, Florida. That's a Skydive City at Zephyr Hills. Or Skydive DeLand, that's at DeLand Municipal Airport. You know, of course, call ahead, make your arrangements, and be part of that. Take some pictures. What a great event that would be. They invited us to jump on that day. And to tell you the truth, I really want to do it. And I appreciate the invitation, and I would do it. But we have that cruise coming up in a couple weeks, and I don't want to go with a broken leg or a fractured tibia or you know, something happened to me.
Skull fracture.
Yeah, skull fracture or...
Now you're going to scare everybody. But we would appreciate you sending in pictures, those people that participate or they're watching. That would be amazing.
That would be fun. Let's go to the word jumble. Now last week, you never know, it could be a doxy, a collie, or a Yorkie. The answer was pet of the week. So many of you got that. And you even sent in your suggestions for what I should have said. You know, instead of those, like a Dalmatian or a Commodore or whatever.
Yeah.
You never seen a Commodore?
I think so.
They look like a mop.
Right.
A big, gigantic mop, right? I don't know if I said it right or not.
I don't think they'd like to live here in Florida. It'd be a little hot.
Here's the clue for today. Take precautions or pay this price. That's it. I know you'll get that one. If you do, don't put it in the comments. You know the rules. Keep it to yourself and just let us know that you know without letting us know that you know. Sweet and salty.
This sweet comment is from CB099. The Villages really needs to give you guys a big mansion on the preserve because you've done more free effective advertising for them than anyone could imagine. I met dozens and dozens of people when I went, and nearly every single person I spoke to knew who you were, loved you, and many said they found the place because of you. I would hope they have at least reached out privately and thanked you.
You know, when we first started the channel back in 2019, really, the beginning of 19, they did reach out and say hello and said that they enjoyed our show and that, but we haven't heard from them for 3 or 4 years. And we certainly wouldn't turn down a mansion, you know, if one was ever offered, but we really don't have any contact with them. We'd like to. They seem like real nice folks.
Please
but,
call us.
Yeah, they don't reach out to us.
What about that salty?
Okay. The salty is from Eric McGreen.
Ooh.
And actually, we get these quite often, but I just happened to pick his because it rang my bell, I guess. I don't know. I got 5 minutes into the video, and you still hadn't gotten to the topic of the title. With this being my first video from you, I absolutely won't subscribe. Time is very valuable, so I recommend you get right to the point. Best of luck. You know, we do get to the point eventually, or we try to, but it's entertainment, it's fun. This is, we're making friends, you know, we're sharing. You know, it's like my father once said, he didn't like Major League Baseball. He said, if one team's behind and it's the fifth inning, they ought to give them their other 12 outs and let them see if they can win. Get it over with. Well, we're not here to get it over with. We're here to have fun. Hey, not going to get it over with. We're going to have fun with our friends. Am I right, friends?
And now it's time for Jerry and Linda's Shoutouts.
So many of you see us on the street, write us comments. You know, sometimes I'm blown away when you write these nice comments, you know, because you've got a busy life and things to do, and yet you still take time to say something nice. And that's what makes life worth living, you know, when people are good to each other, and it's just wonderful. These people you're seeing on the screen are great examples of that. You know, we really appreciate it when you send us your pictures and we can put them up there. Thanks to every one of you, and a shout out to you all. And we hope you know how much we appreciate you. That's going to do it for this week's edition of
Mailbag Monday.
If you liked our video today, please press that like and subscribe button and share it with your friends and neighbors and relatives and everyone you know. And don't forget to register for the grand prize at Rafael's. And the drawing will be Thursday on the 10th at 1 o'clock. Until next time.
See you when you get here. No.
I hope you enjoyed this. Let me start.
But we've really. Okay, hold on. Let's get that.
And if you don't, what am I doing now?
Why can't I read today?
I know. I do it again. I used to do that a lot.
God, I'm hungry. I'll tell you that.
I am too.
From the top, you hear that table popping?
Uh-huh.
That's bad sound. I don't want to do that. How many times are we gonna have to start over?